Hey guys, how you going? It's your boy Timo from Timo Reviews, and I'm here today with the unboxing of the Super Nintendo Classic Mini. So let's get started. So here we are with the unboxing of the Super Nintendo Classic Mini. So as you can see, this is actually the PAL version, so the Australian version. So this is what we get here in Australia. It does not come with an AC adapter, pretty much the same as what the PAL version, so the UK and Europe. I believe the US does come with one, but here in Australia we have to provide our own. As I said, you can purchase one on the side, which I will put a video of exactly what it is, and it works out to be 19.95 Australian. So let's get started. So as you can sort of see, here's the box. Pretty similar as we sort of indicated before. It is the Australian version, so it is slightly different from the US and the Super Famicom. So this is what was released here. So here we go. So let's have a look what is inside our one. Alright, so you got the box as normal. Slide this out. So here we are. So this is the box there. So what we get is we get the manual. So here we are with the manual. But the interesting thing is that is it. So as we can see here, this is the size difference. So this is the Super Nintendo, the PAL version. The normal version that you have, which is a massive machine when you compare what it looks like. And then if we put that back down there, the SNES Mini, which takes up no space at all. And then if you compare that to the NES Mini, it's pretty much the same size. So if we look at that all the way around, it is pretty much the same size. And if you look at it, it's pretty much set up exactly the same. So you look at that, set up exactly the same. So the boards in there are pretty much the same size. So if you do have a NES Mini, you'd say that that would be the same size, but just how cool are they compared to the big one? The big one's still good because it's the retro gamer that you want to do, but then when you compare these two, they are really cool. So I do hope that they do bring out a N64 Mini, as that is probably my favorite console of all time. But I would love to see that. Question that I do have is how they're going to work with the controller, considering the controller is massive, and the controller that will compare to this would be huge as well. As I mentioned before, as I said, it doesn't come with an AC adapter, but you can purchase one. So here's one that I purchased earlier. So it's just a Nintendo USB AC adapter. So that's pretty much what we've got there. Is that any AC adapter that you have that connects to a USB, whether that be iPhone, whether that be one of your mobile phones as well, then that's what you can use. And I have heard some people actually just connect it to their TV. Let's compare the controllers. So we've got the controller here of the old school one, so the Super Nintendo, and then we've got the new one. So of course there was going to be a color difference due to the age of this one, which is close to 20 odd years. If you compare the two with the size, perfect sizing. I said this one's a bit more spongy, it's probably had a little bit more wear, but so if you compare the two, they look very cool and very similar, which is awesome to see. So as I said, I do prefer the Australian PAL version with the colours, and the Super Famicom. I just think they look a lot better, and it's a bit different on there. So now that's what the controllers look like. Let's have a look and see how far the cord is. So the main problem that we had before with the NES, and that was the biggest complaint, was this size of the cords. So let's compare it and see what they've actually done this time around. Okay, so here we are with the cords. It's what I've got here. I've got the normal NES, the original one that came through. I've also got a third-party one for the NES. I've got the SNES Mini cord, as well as the traditional SNES, the retro one. So if you look at it here, on the left-hand side, we have the NES one. So we've got the NES Mini controller, which is really short. So if you compare that, that is tiny. And now if you look here, keep going down, that one there on the second side there is actually the SNES Mini. So I said it is, if you look at it, it is a little bit longer, so it gives you that extra reach that you need. But when you compare it to, say, the third party of the NES one, is a lot longer on that front. And then if I keep going down here, that is the original. So if you look at the sizing of it, I said I can't get it stretched out just due to them being wrapped up a little bit. That's what it is. So if you compare it, it is longer than the NES one. So the biggest complaint being that the NES was too small, but the SNES is that way. But as I said, what I'd look at is that if you want to look at the third party, or at the same time is you can get the extensions, which then allow you to actually take it a little bit further. But I do like nostalgia of sitting in front of the TV like you did back in the day. As I said, and sitting in a beanbag, I just reckon it's really cool. Okay, so when you start up the SNES Mini, it opens up in the languages menu, which then allows you to choose which language you want. So as we are in Australia, we are running off English, so we will choose that one, which then takes us down to the menu. So if you look at it, it is set up the same as a Super Nintendo. You have got the power button, power input on the bottom right hand side, as well as at the top you have the 4 colors. So if we look at the menus up the top here, we have got the display, which allows us to choose if you want 4.3, CTR filter, pixel perfect, and allows you to choose the framing, as it will not fill the entire screen, as it's not programmed that way. It is as it used to be back with the older TVs. So you have got a border or a frame. This allows you to choose your framing of what you want, so you can have a look through that and see which one works for you. You also have the options here, which allows you to have the demo, so you can turn them off, classic demo, burn in, and a factory reset if you wish. You have languages if you wish to change that in the future, as well as legal notices and a manual. So when we look at this, it has got 20 games unlocked, ready to go. But the system has 21, which involves Star Fox, which we'll get into once we reach that one. So the games that are currently on the system are Contra 3, The Alien Wars. We also have Donkey Kong Country. We have Earthbound. We also have one of my favorites, F-Zero. Come on, Nintendo, make sure you make another one for the Switch. That would be awesome. We've also have Final Fantasy 3, Kirby Superstar, Kirby Dream Course. We've also got Mega Man X, Secret of Mana, Star Fox. As I mentioned before, we have Star Fox 2. It is locked for the moment, but the way to unlock it is to actually complete the first course on Star Fox. As I stated before, it was an unreleased game, so it is definitely something to get your teeth into. It is there like a package, so if you're used to your 3DS, when you download something from the eShop, it opens up as a package on your 3DS. It works the same way, so that is a cool part of it. Moving on, you also have Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighter. You've got Super Castlevania 4. You have Super Ghouls and Ghosts. You've also got the crowd favorite Super Mario Kart. You have what I believe is the unreleased version that never reached the Western markets of Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars, as well as Super Mario World, Super Metroid, one of my favorites, Super Punch-Out, and The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. And to round that off, we have Yoshi's Island. So I said for the Super Nintendo, I think it's a good range of games that are on there. I kind of wish there was a couple or more that was on there. One of my favorites from the system is definitely Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Time Warp, I believe it's called. That's definitely one of my favorites, and one that I really enjoy playing. So that was kind of what I wish, but I still have the retro version, which allows me to do that. So this here pretty much is the menu for the Super Nintendo Mini. So that's it from me. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please feel free to like, subscribe, and feel free to comment as well. So as always, have a good one, guys, and thanks for watching. Cheers.